Park City Council to order. Will you please stand for the pledge and remain standing afterwards? Mr. Landwehr, would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, as we begin this meeting, we ask that you guide our discussions to make decisions for the benefit of the entire community. Also, during this special season of peace and light, when people of all different faiths celebrate with joy, we also ask for your blessing upon our city, that our residents and personnel may enjoy a happy and healthy holiday season. And for these intentions, we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you, Mr. Waite. Thank you, Mr. Landwehr. I'm Paul Marcraft, the mayor of Lakeside Park. To my immediate left is our city clerk treasurer, Teresa Bruck. To my right is our city attorney, Mr. Greg Voss. Mrs. Bruck, would you please read roll?
Sure. Tom Bernheimer,
Here.
Dennis Landwehr,
Here.
Cassie Schabel, Marianne Thaman,
Here.
Brian Waite,
Here.
Dave Wolfer.
Here. Thank you, Mrs. Bruck. We do have a quorum. The first item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda that has been sent to everyone. Does anyone have any additions, corrections? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as submitted.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as submitted.
Thank you, Mrs. Thaman. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. Waite. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of adopting the agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is unanimous. Next item of business is approval of the minutes of October 13th, 2025. And at this point, I will make a comment that we do not have minutes from the November meeting as we did not have a quorum. So we were not able to conduct any business, and therefore no minutes are appropriate. So I'll entertain a motion to adopt the minutes of October 13th, 2025.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Wolfer. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Bernheimer. Is there any discussion or amendments or changes that are necessary? Hearing none. All in favor of adopting the minutes as presented for October 13th, 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, it is unanimous, a 5-0 vote. Next up, citizens addressing council. I believe we have two individuals. Mrs. Murray, would you like to step up to the podium, please? Please give us your name and address.
I am Laurie Murray, and I live at 40 Marion Drive in Lakeside Park. I am one of probably most citizens of Lakeside that received Cassie Schabel's letter of resignation. And while I appreciate her service, and acknowledge that she did much to get people to be more engaged civically, unfortunately, her civic engagement did not extend to civility. The allegations she made against other council members as she was leaving seemed unfair, unprofessional, and untrue. I can only guess that her motivation was because the ordinances she suggested were not adopted. In my experience, this council has been very open and very approachable. When I see them in the grocery, on the street, at church, everyone, including the mayor, are very friendly and very open to discuss any item or even just the weather. They are responsible and honorable individuals. That can be seen through the maintenance of our city, our community, our activities, our streets, our roads, our parks. They maintain the character of our city. We aren't Fort Mitchell, we're not Crestview, we're not Edgewood, we're not Villa, and we don't want to be. People choose to live in Lakeside because of what Lakeside is. And I appreciate so deeply the work that you all have done. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you for your many years of service, for being honest and upstanding members, and for being the excellent stewards of our city.
Thank you,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Murray.
Thank you.
And for any of you who may not know this, Mrs. Murray grew up in Lakeside Park, and her father was the mayor previously. So, thank you.
And I have lived in Fort Mitchell and Crestview and Lakeside. And Lakeside's where I want to be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lippert?
Hi, Mike Lippert, 15 Buttermilk Pike. At the last meeting, I mentioned about a couple ordinances dealing with the reconstruction of our garage that seem to be in conflict. I was wondering the process to get either that on the agenda or how to get the council to relook at that at some point.
Mr. Lippert, yes, we will. That is an item, since you brought it up at the meeting, that can be considered by council under old business, which is one of the items on the agenda. So, thank you very much. Is there anyone else who'd like to address council? Thank you very much. Next item is the mayor's report. First, I do want to acknowledge that next Sunday evening at sundown begins the celebration of Hanukkah. And the city would like to extend its greetings to those of the Jewish faith who celebrate the 8-day Festival of Lights. So please know that we are with you. And then a week later, on Thursday the 25th, is Christmas, as you heard in Mr. Waite's prayer. We will be closed here on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but we will be reopening on Friday, the 26th, for business. Likewise, New Year's Day is also a holiday. We will be closed on New Year's Day, but open on New Year's Eve and January 2nd. Associated with this, if you have a live Christmas tree, we again will be recycling live trees. Starting on December 26th, the lot on our east side of the building will be designated for the drop-off of Christmas trees. We will recycle those into mulch and encourage anyone who has a live tree to please drop it off. We will be sending them off for the recycling on January 9th. Also like to point out the Christmas decorations around the building and outside. I would like to thank Mr. Steve Greer for doing most of the work on the outside with the lights, but Mrs. Bruck and Mrs. Kemper decorated the inside, and they put in a lot of time, particularly when our new security windows were being installed. So thank you very much. I think everything looks beautiful. As taxes are due on December 31st. You can pay them by mail. You can pay them here in person if you wish a receipt. If you would like to pay them online, there is a link on our website to do so. However, if you do pay them online, there is a service fee that you will be charged as well for that convenience. If you have moved and received a bill, please get that to the new property owners so that they will not be hit with any back assessment or penalties or interest, because those will begin on, if not paid, by January 1st. I have accepted the resignation of Councilwoman Cassie Schabel, effective on the 4th when it was tendered. However, will be officially accepted this evening. Our city clerk treasurer, Teresa Bruck, was elected as the secretary of the Northern Kentucky Municipal Clerks Association. This is a one-year term in that position, and it shows the honor and respect paid by other municipal clerks to her to accurately serve as an officer. She is also our city treasurer, and as such is a member of the Northern Kentucky Government Financial Officers Association. And she was elected to a 2-year term as secretary of that fine organization. Her participation in these 2 organizations have been a great benefit to our city as far as keeping us up to date with things that are needed to be done and more effective ways of doing them. So congratulations, Mrs. Bruck.
Thank you.
Speech.
No.
She'll get her chance in just a moment. Additionally, during this past year, at council's request, we have sent out a copy of our newsletter by mail to anyone in the city who has not opted out to receive it electronically. And I'd like council to consider whether this is something we wish to continue. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. It does come with a cost, but I believe that we can do that with the city. But we've been trying to be open and to get information to everyone in the best manner appropriate. So, council, I'd like to hear your opinions on this.
It seems like from other requests, such as like when we had the sign up for the carriage rides and stuff, that there still is a need for people to get paper. So I'm in favor of continuing the paper newsletter. And of course, if somebody would rather not get it via paper and wanted to let the city know, I think we have a list, correct, right, for other, yeah.
For electronic.
We can just do it electronic, yes.
I'm also in favor of continuing it as paper. I think there's something about putting it in people's hands, in front of them, instead of asking people to take action to go to the website to look at it. So I'm certainly in favor of continuing with paper.
Mr. Mayor,
Thank you.
I agree that I use this quite often, and a number of neighbors have told me they appreciate seeing a hard copy in there.
Sounds great.
In favor of keeping it, please.
Well, I'm sure we have residents that aren't computer literate, that need another option to get the newsletter. I don't think we want to take that away from them, not at all.
Okay.
I'll be unanimous, 5-0.
Okay. Well, thank you. I will take that into account when I'm preparing the budget for the next year. So, this past Wednesday, we had an annual appreciation luncheon here for those volunteers and all the people who have assisted the city in the past year. I would like to say right now that I forgot to point out and introduce our former mayor and assistant fire chief, Dave Jansing. And I'm sorry about that oversight. I apologize, because you have given a great service to our city and our community.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it.
So, I should have done it then. And lastly, in October, I introduced my initiative to partially fund a school resource officer for Blessed Sacrament School. Although others may try to take the credit, we will have more to say about that during the legal report. And that is my report. Does anyone have any questions? No. Okay. Thank you. Next up, we do have the legal report.
I'm going to introduce an executive order number 7, 2025. This is under the authority of the mayor. You all don't need to vote on it, but you need to be advised of it. It's an executive order of the City of Lakeside Park, Kentucky, approving the reappointment of Lakeside Park resident Kenneth Heydrich as represent to the Kenton County Planning Commission. And his term is January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028. And in addition, an executive order has been executed of 8/2025, an executive order of the City of Lakeside Park, Kentucky, approving the reappointment of Lakeside Park resident George Best as a representative to the Kenton County Joint Code Enforcement Board, and his term is January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028. We have a couple municipal orders. Municipal order number 8, 2025. Municipal order of the City of Lakeside Park, Kentucky, approving the expenditure of funds to partially fund a school resource officer for Blessed Sacrament School through the City of Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. Whereas Blessed Sacrament School and Parish have determined in the best interest of the school to hire a school resource officer through the city of Fort Mitchell, Kentucky Police Department at a cost of $60,000 per year under a 3-year commitment. Be it ordered by the mayor and the council of the city of Lakeside Park, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, the city of Lakeside Park shall contribute the sum of $15,000 per year as partial funding for the school resource officer to serve Blessed Sacrament Elementary School for 3 years to help safeguard the students, faculty, and staff at the school. The city shall pay the funds allocated in Section 1 of this order for payment in 2 equal payments commencing on January 1st of each year and August 1st of each year. The mayor of Lakeside Park, Kentucky is authorized to effect the payment of those funds and ensure that they will be used as specified in this municipal order.
Thank you, Mr. Voss. I will entertain a motion to adopt municipal order 8-2025.
Mayor, I make the motion to approve this order.
Thank you, Mr. Landwehr. Is there a second?
I'll
Can we have some
second.
discussion first?
Yeah, oh, we will after.
After the vote?
No.
No.
After it is seconded.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mrs. Thaman. Now,
Yeah,
in,
I got it.
yeah, no problem, Mr. Bernheimer. In support of this, 117 of the 430 students at Blessed Sacrament are residents of Lakeside Park. That is actually 27.2% of the students. The city of Fort Mitchell is substantially contributing to this. School parents and members of the parish are also contributing to this. I look at this as the same as providing school bus and transportation for the children. This is not promoting religious instruction in any way, shape, or form. It is designed to keep the children safe. I think this is an obligation that we do have as a city, but that is a personal opinion. And yes, my grandfather went there, my wife, my kids, and now I have grandchildren there. So in full disclosure, that is one of the reasons that I am proposing this. So certainly we'll now open it up to discussion. And if you wish to know, 27.2% would be an annual contribution of $16,325. So, anyone else?
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm gonna have to
Bernheimer.
plead ignorance. Can somebody explain to me exactly what a school
Resource
officer is and what that has to do with the kids?
Okay, the best person to explain that would be Chief Degenhardt. Former chief, the former chief is also a school resource officer over at Mary Queen of Heaven. So Chris Schutte is working there in that capacity now. But Chief, would you please?
Sure. So a school resource officer is a certified police officer in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And essentially their patrol responsibilities is the school itself. So that is their primary task. One of the main differences between your typical full-time year-round police officer and a school resource officer is the school resource officer is usually hired to work just during the school days and during the school year. So they typically have the summer off, they have the Christmas breaks and the spring break off as well. So the amount of hours that they work throughout the year is going to be less than your typical full-time officer, which is why it's a little less expensive for an agency to staff a school resource officer than a typical full-time police officer for the entire year.
So are they in the school building?
Correct. Somewhere on the grounds, but they're usually in the building most of the day, and
And
they'll
there's-
also walk around the outside of the grounds as well.
Okay, and their sole purpose is not just to protect the kids, but the teachers, the staff,
Correct.
parents that are visiting, anybody?
Correct.
Okay. I guess one of my concerns is that we're spending Lakeside Park residents dollars to fund a private school because they I guess they have to have a resource officer according to the state now. But not everyone in Lakeside Park has children. Not everyone has children going to that school. And I'm sure people are going to say, well, Bernheimer's anti-kids. Well, I'm not. What I am is spending money that people contribute that are not being used for the purpose of the city or for the purpose of their kids. And the kids is just a hot button. I mean, as I said, it protects everybody in the school. So how is that acceptable, and when does it stop? If a church comes to us and asks us to contribute to put somebody in place to protect them and their services, what if a private business wanted? Well, we don't have any businesses in Lakeside Park, but the school's not in Lakeside Park. How does that square with what we spend our money on, particularly because it's not in our budget? This would be new dollars, and we're talking about $45,000, not just $15,000. Can anybody comment on that?
I will if you would like. First of all, the schools and other resource officers are funded through your tax dollars because you have money that you are paying out for school systems, Canton County school systems, and they do fund school resource officers for the public schools. So you are paying for the school resource officers and the education of any children here in the city and the county through your tax dollars. Again, I don't look at it as being any different from funding school buses. It is a safety issue. Second, there are many other cities that are paying for this. I believe that Boone County is paying for the Mary Queen of Heaven officer. Erlanger and Ellesmere are sharing the cost for St. Henry Elementary School. And we have never been asked for anything like this before.
Well, that's why I'm confused by it, because school buses are paid for by the county, but we pay taxes to the county for that purpose.
Correct,
Nobody
and they are
pays taxes
provided
in
free.
Lakeside Park.
And they are provided free of charge for Blessed Sacrament students to go in and out. And that is a use of your tax dollars for the safety of those children and the transportation.
It has been
That-
authorized by the court system.
Again,
It just,
and I understand your position and your questions. So at this point, though, I'd like to open it up to anyone else, and if you would like to address Mr. Bernheimer and some of his concerns, I don't want to be center stage on this.
Well, I would just like to say too, it's not a vote or a debate on school safety or student safety. I think, everyone would say that's a priority. So I think what the question becomes is, what is the appropriate use of public funds for a private entity? And then beyond that, which public funds should it be? So like the mayor's talking about, busing services are provided, but that's through the county tax dollars. Or a resource officer, I guess you could debate, should that be funded by tax dollars, but should it be our municipal City of Lakeside Park tax dollars? Or would that be something that would be expected from the county or from the state? I think, if I think about our Lakeside Park municipal taxes are not, we don't have anything for schools. So we're not budgeted for schools. It's not part of our city payments or collections. So I guess I have reservations a bit on it. And full disclosure for me, in the same way that the mayor, I went to Blessed Sacrament School. I'm a member of Blessed Sacrament Parish, so this one might be unpopular with some folks. But I have to think about, I have to put my city hat on it and think of it from the city standpoint. I also think about our residents who have students who attend, we've got a lot of kids going to Notre Dame, we've got a lot of kids going to Covington Catholic. So then where do we start to fund those for Park Hills? Or even, you can go beyond. There's Latin School, Holy Cross, Calvary Christian, St. Henry. We've got students probably at all of these schools. So I think then that raises a question too. Well, why would we do this for Blessed Sacrament when, again, I'd say CovCath and Notre Dame probably have a high percentage as well. So I have some reservations on this one, specifically coming from our municipal budget, which our school taxes come out of the county budget, not out of our municipal budget. And again, I hope no one turns this around and says, oh, he's against school safety. So it's not about that, of course.
I think part of me just relates this to our police force that we have. They protect our residents 24/7, and we prorate that cost with Crestview Hills. And I guess I don't view this any different than we have a proportionate responsibility to protect our kids at this school. But then I hear you, if we send a kid to St. X, do we pay a piece of St. X's or St. Henry? That's where I'm stuck, but I guess I love the idea when I first heard about funding this resource officer at this kind of cost. To me, it was a no-brainer for our city funds.
I think when we think about the cost too, if you do the math though, and break down that cost by the number of students that were quoted at the school, and it ends up breaking down to like $11.50 per month for the parent to pay. So if tuition needed to increase $11 a month, then should that, someone might ask, should tuition go up $11 a month, or should a city be using tax dollars to fund it?
Well, even as most private organizations do, you could have a separate assessment for this. And I still don't see how reaching out to the communities around there to ask for their tax dollars to subsidize a private school who could either raise their tuition or have an assessment. This is probably 10% of what they get for one individual's tuition, the whole $60,000. And again, I always fall back on, I feel it's my responsibility to consider what's good for everybody in the city of Lakeside Park, and not just the individuals that are sending their kids to a certain school.
Well, I will say regarding the other schools that have been mentioned already have school resource officers. No one has come asking us to contribute a percentage to St. Xavier High School.
How are they funded?
They are funded, well, it depends on where it is. Now, along with this one, when we mentioned the city of Fort Mitchell is substantially funding this as well, even though they do have Beechwood, but Beechwood is its own school district, and that is part of the Beechwood tax dollars that come in from their assessment. Quite truthfully, I don't know who all is paying for the high school school resource officers. But they do have them, and they have them already. And no one has ever come to ask us, because I don't believe that 25% of the students at any of those schools come solely from the city of Lakeside Park. I think it is something that is a benefit to our residents, and whether you choose to send your children to a parochial school or to a public school, you are also supporting that public school with your taxes, as well as paying the tuition. So I believe this is something that we can do for our residents that will help out, and it will ensure the student, faculty, and safety of anyone who is there. We've seen too many school shootings already in this country. And a school resource officer is the best way to have a first line of defense. Again, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I think it is.
Did Blessed Sacrament approach the city for a contribution to this officer?
Directly and indirectly. I have talked to Pastor Dan Shoemaker about this on many occasions.
I have to lay on the scale with Dave here in reference to, we split our police services with Crestview Hills, and we're getting, our percentage of protection is 100%, and only paying 20% into the budget for the police department. It's a minor contribution. This is coincidental, and later on I was going to mention this, but I'll mention it now. I got a call from a grandmother of a student at Blessed Sacrament who was a little irritated with me that we hadn't already passed this. And she had been misinformed that we were not going to do it. We had already made the decision. And I had to correct her misinformation that this was something you had brought up in October originally, that we discussed earlier. And we're just now to the point of finalizing this, if possible. We've got to the paperwork part. She was misinformed, that's my point, other point to this, to making my comments here. Misinformation has spread wild throughout the city here over the weekend in a couple areas. And when a grandmother approaches me about her grandchild at Blessed Sacrament, I had to smooth off the waters here, and I did.
I'm in the same mindset that it came to my thought is like how we share with Fort Mitchell, or how we share like our part, like, it's really like our fire, right? Our, we split those services, and that is how I looked at it as well. And I don't know where the other school, I never thought about all the other stuff and where things come from, but at this point, I think the feedback is that, I just think on the same lines of that it's kind of something that kind of somewhat our responsibility as a city to do.
Police and fire serve everybody in the community.
Right.
It's a little different. And I know I'm going to be seen as the bad guy because I'm not against safety in schools. That's a very big problem. I am reluctant to fund this because I think there needs to be a better way for these schools to pay for these services. I think it's a dangerous door for us to open, because where does it stop after Blessed Sacrament?
I guess I'm also thinking about the numbers. We have 200 and something families from Lakeside Park that this affects, but in total, there's like 2,800 households in the city. So the 10% of the residents would benefit from this.
I think we can equate that to anything we spend
Yeah.
money on, recreation. I mean, people participate in recreation, but it's part of our budget. God forbid, I've never used the fire or the police, but I'm helping fund that. And I hope I never do have to use it, but I don't know,
But those are available to you if you need them. Even recreation, people choose whether or not to go to those events.
I don't think we're going to open up a can of worms for these other schools, but I agree with what Mary Ann said. It just seems like the right thing to do for the minimal cost.
We did partially fund the repair of sidewalks, and less than 30% of the city has sidewalks.
And then there was the question on whether those sidewalks were publicly available for everyone to go out for their
Sure.
walks. So I think
And everyone is welcome at Blessed
Yeah.
Sacrament as well.
if they pay tuition, right? So,
They pay
yeah.
$6,000 or $7,000 a year to go there.
So, is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Mrs. Bruck, would you please read roll to vote on municipal order 8-2025?
Tom Bernheimer,
I'm going to have to vote no.
Dennis Landwehr,
Yes.
Marion Thaman,
Yes.
Brian Waite,
I have to be a no because of the factor of where the funding is coming from and not because of the idea of a resource officer, but a no.
Dave Wolfer.
Yes.
Thank you. Municipal order is adopted by a 3-2 vote. Thank you.
Municipal Order Number 9, 2025, a municipal order of the City of Lakeside Park, Kentucky, approving payment of a year-end wage adjustment to each regular and part-time employee of the city as of December 1st, 2025. Be it ordered by the mayor and the city council of the City of Lakeside Park, Kentucky as follows. In accordance with the city's pay schedules, the compensation for the following employees set at the rates provided herein, effective December 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. City Clerk Treasurer Teresa Bruck shall be paid at the rate set forth below for the period of December 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, all of which additional payment herein shall be payable in the sum of $100 on December 10th, 2025. Public Works Director Steve Greer shall be paid at the rate set forth below for that period of time at the rate of $100 payable on December 10th, 2025. And Deputy Clerk Jeanette Kemper shall be paid at the rate set below for the period of December 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, all of which additional payment herein shall be payable in the sum of $75 on December 10th, 2025. And that is your reading of the municipal order number 9.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to adopt municipal order 9-2025.
Motion to adopt, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Landwehr.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Bernheimer. This is an annual tradition for the city. Is there any comment or discussion?
I do have one comment. I do believe we made an adjustment last year to Mrs. Brooks. And I just read this 3-4 hours ago. I came in last week to do the bank recs and the books review, and Teresa was working on the recreation stuff. I came in today to pick up my packet, and she was working on it again. So it just seems like $100 to me is insufficient. She's really carrying on 2 roles here. So much like last year, I wouldn't mind proposing bumping that up a little, 250, 500. If anybody has any more input.
Okay. Are you making a motion to amend the municipal?
I am making that motion to bump it up to $500.
Is there a second?
I'll second. I will say, to clarify things, in case there's no, in order to do Light Up Lakeside, there, it has to be somebody that has access to everything at the office to help with this scheduling of the carriages. It's quite a job. And since we don't have a recreation director, Teresa has played a huge role in that. And that has, it has really, she's really worked hard to get all of her duties done by the end of the day. So I will second that.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the amendment only? With that, I believe we can do a voice vote on the amendment. All in favor of amending Municipal Order 9-2025 to the sum of $500 for Mrs. Bruck, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The amendment passes. So now, we're in further discussion of Municipal Order 9-2025 as amended. Does anyone have any comments? Hearing none, since this does involve money, Mrs. Bruck, would you please do a roll call vote?
Tom Bernheimer,
Yes.
Dennis Landwehr,
Yes.
Marion Thaman,
Yes.
Brian Waite,
a happy yes.
Thank you. And Dave Wolfer.
Sorry to underestimate it, but I should have gone higher for you, but yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Municipal order passes by a 5-0 vote.
That's all I have unless anybody has any questions of me.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Voss? Hearing none, time for you to earn your pay.
Okay.
Clerk treasurer's report.
All right, so the only thing I have to report on is that we have collected about 40% of our total property taxes for this year. CoreLogic is now known as Cotality. We'll be making a lump sum deposit from the mortgage escrows on December the 26th. This will be about 25% of what's still due. And then we also have left 35% that's still outstanding after that. So I just wanted to remind everybody that they're due on Wednesday, December the 31st, so that you can avoid any penalty and interest after that date. The only other thing I do want to mention is that we are having a few issues with email service. We're not really quite sure what the problem is, but if you do not get an email response back to me for like carriage rides, trolley rides, or anything you submit to me within 24 hours, please do give me a call at the office. We'll make sure it gets taken care of. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mrs.
Sidewalk
Brooke?
collections,
I'm sorry.
collections of dues, past dues from sidewalks.
We had 4,
Sent the letters in.
and we sent out letters from Mr. Voss.
Thank you. Any further questions? Thank you, Mrs. Bruck. Next up, committee reports. First, Fire and EMS. Chief?
Good evening. For the month of November, there were 18 runs here in our city. Out of those 13 were the normal EMS calls. We had 1 accident with injuries, 2 residential fire alarm drops, and 1 outside gas leak for a gas light in the front yard. And then we had a CO alarm activation back on the 11th, and that was very interesting. That proved to everybody the value of carbon monoxide detectors. A resident had a plumber working in his home, and he was saw cutting with gasoline K-12 saws, concrete saws, the basement floor to replace all the piping underneath. And the plumber thought that he was doing adequate ventilation to get the exhaust fumes from the gasoline-powered saws out of the house. When they left, the plumbers left, and about 2 hours later, the residents came back, and all 4 of their CO detectors were going off, I mean, with high parts. Anything above 35 parts is gonna send the little detector into alarm. We're talking in the hundreds on all of them. So we got out there, got it ventilated, got the saws out of the basement, got the gallon of gasoline out of the basement, and by the time we left there, all the parts were back down to 0. And I suggested to him that he have a little talk with his plumber. So, but they came home, or if they'd have been in there, they'd have caught it probably a little bit earlier on, but there was enough carbon monoxide in there that you'd be brain dead in about 6 minutes. So, happy outcome. Fort Mitchell is very proud to say that one of our high school interns, Tori Neltner, completed a 13-week Fire Academy class over in Western Kentucky. Several years ago, the Kentucky Fire Commission, just like we have the DOCJT for the police in Eastern Kentucky University, which I graduated from, We also now have a fire academy in the state. And Tori, out of a group of about 35 students, this last class, she and one other were the only 2 females in the class. But it's just like the police academy. You stay down there for 13 weeks. You can come home on the weekends. But you got to be back there at 6 a.m. for PT on Monday mornings. She graduated with honors from the class. And then we also had 5 other personnel graduate from our local basic academy up here on November the 1st. We've done 3 public education events. 4 car seats were installed. And fire department personnel attended biannual advanced EMS training over at St. Elizabeth Training Center. We call it CTEC over there on Olympic off of Minneola Pike. So we're all recertified again for another couple of years. So significant events. We had an auto accident this is not the one I was talking about here. There was no entrapment, no extrication needed for ours. But there was one in Fort Mitchell on 75, and we assisted Erlanger with the structure fire. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
I do have a question for you, Dave. I guess I've never done the math, but on that chart, if you add up the Fort Mitchell, Crestview Hills, and Lakeside Park calls, it's about 115, but there's 154. So you're helping other surrounding cities whenever they request it?
Oh, yeah. It's through the Kenton County, actually the North Kentucky Firefighter Association. Every department signs an agreement that if they need help, whatever they ask for, you know, everybody will make it a point to try to get there to help them. Just like if we need help here, something major, if we get an MCI, mass casualty incident, I mean, we're gonna have people in here. You can imagine what goes on at the airport for a plane down, Signal 500. There'll be ambulances and everything coming to our area here if that plane crashes off of airport property, just the same. And there'll be ambulances coming here from 3 states.
So it looked like about 75% were within our 3 cities, but so about every 4th call, you're going somewhere else. Okay, cool, thank you.
Whether it be Fort Wright, Park Hills, Erlanger, Edgewood, we all work, Crescent Springs, we all work together.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The only other point that I will bring up regarding fire is that our fire contract with the city of Fort Mitchell will be expiring next year. And I will be entering into discussions with Fort Mitchell administration on a renewal or a new contract. It will probably, in format, be very similar to the one that Fort Mitchell entered into with the city of Crestview Hills recently. So I just wanted you to know that that is something that's coming up. So, okay, thank you, Chief.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
Next up, Public Works.
Public Works, we did not meet this month, so the next meeting will be in January, first Thursday, January 8th actually, because it's New Year's, our New Year's Day. So our next meeting will be on January 8th at 5 p.m.
Thank you. And I believe that most, if not all, of our Public Works projects for the year have been completed.
Yeah.
Next up, Police Authority. We really do not have a report, as Mr. Waite gave 2 reports last month at the non-meeting, but brought everybody up to date with that. So you do have the activity report and the copies of the proposed minutes in your packet. Does anyone have a question for any of the members of the board or the chief? Yeah. Thank you. Next up, PDS.
The PDS council did not meet, so there is no report.
Thank you. Finance.
Thank you, Mayor. We all have our packet that was prepared by Teresa. I'll just hit on some of the highlights for the month of November. It was a busy month. We collected about $341,000 in total revenue, made up of 5 different areas, close to $77,000 in property taxes along with the corresponding waste collection fee. That was $77,000, about $45,000 in personal property taxes and tangible taxes, $48,000 in payroll taxes, $54,000 in occupational license fees, and over $93,000 in insurance premium fees. Again, total revenue about $341,000. Our total expenses for the month, just the normal expenses to run the city were $63,000, so we had a net income of about $277,000. And as Mrs. Bruck said before, I think she said we've collected 40% of our taxes have been collected. So just for reference, we still are expecting close to $500,000 to be collected in the month of December. I did review all the details for the month. You have a couple pages in there, which is profit and loss detail. Everything, again, looked properly recorded. I came in last week and reviewed all the bank recs, everything reconciled to the penny. Our balance sheet shows that we're doing very well with $4.5 million in total checking and money market accounts. So that is good news. And then the last thing, just per the auditor's recommendation, I reviewed all the credit card charges for the month, and again, everything looked like it was reasonable city expenses. And I think that is my report. Anything to add, Brian?
No, nothing to add.
Cool.
Does anyone have any questions? Thank you, gentlemen. Next up, Municipal Government League.
I have no report, sir.
Thank you. Recreation.
Thank you, Mayor. Light Up Lakeside is the big thing coming up. First of all, the carriage rides it's full. So at this point, we had many more requests for the actual carriages versus the trolley, so we changed it to like we're gonna have 4 carriages this year with a trolley. And there may be some random openings throughout the night, so you can always check when you're there at the event, but there are no more signups are closed. Letters to Santa, we're getting the letters from Santa are coming in. They are due by this Friday the 12th. And so we can get the responses back to the little ones. The holiday house decorating contest is under, you can nominate anybody you would like, your neighbor, yourself. The judging is going to go on this Friday and Saturday, and the winners will be announced at Light Up Lakeside on Sunday, somewhere between the 5 and 8 o'clock hour. And if you haven't already been to or know about Light Up Lakeside, there'll be games for the kids, there'll be hot chocolate, there'll be cookies, Santa will be there. He's gonna arrive at around 5:30, somewhere around in there on I don't know, have a special delivery. Maybe the same as last year, maybe not. Anyway, but Santa will be there with gifts, and it's just a really good time, in the carriage rides as well. So plan on joining us there. The only other thing that's on the agenda right now for recreation is the county senior games. The registration is still going on until the 19th of this month. The games will open on January the 6th at Fort Thomas at the Armory, and there's various things throughout the month. Like one of them being close to us in Erlanger is on at the Erlanger Library on the 15th of January at 10 a.m. There's a bingo, and I know there's already like 58 people signed up for the bingo that day. So it's a good time, and there's more information on the website about the county senior games, the winter games. And that is all I have for right now.
Thank you. Regarding recreation, I have interviewed someone who I believe is very qualified for the recreation director's position. And I will have more information for you on that very shortly. So I just wanted to keep everyone aware of that.
Good news.
Thank you. Next is old business. And as I said, Mr. Lippert had brought up an issue previously. like to open that up for discussion with council as far as what council would like to consider on this. If I may, Mr. Lippert, would you please reiterate what the exact issue was with the rebuilding and the discrepancy from PDS?
Thanks, Mayor, see if I can, I don't have anything written down, but I'll try to put words here. So we have a garage next door. That existing garage, the back portion is needing repair. And so we talked to an architect, a structural engineer, and they recommended actually tearing the back portion down and rebuilding it. So we presented that to PDS, and they said, well, you can rebuild it, but I know it's 700 square feet right now, your garage, but you can only make it 600 square feet after you rebuild it. You have to reduce it by 100 square feet. And that reduces obviously all our storage and everything, and makes it very hard on us. So we did some further review of the ordinances, and one ordinance says 700 square feet for all, are allowed for all outbuildings or whatever, but garages are limited to 600 square feet. And I'm thinking if it was 700 square feet for garages, you know, we would potentially be able to do our project and just rebuild it as is, not expand it, not, in fact, we have to shrink it a little bit, but we'd be real close. And so that's what we'd like to do.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lippert. Discussion?
After the last meeting, I contacted PDS and had a conversation with Cody Sheets regarding the specific situation to kind of understand what, because the other part that Mr. Lippert didn't mention is that they went to the expense in preparation to go before the Board of Adjustments, and correct me if I get anything wrong, Mike, but they went before the Board of Adjustments and asked for a variance, and the request was denied by the Board of Adjustments. So that's where we are today. And at that last meeting, I think a couple of you missed, Mr. Lippert was asking if we would, maybe take a look at the ordinances. So I called down to PDS, had a conversation with Cody Sheets. He explained to me some of the specific nuances regarding the specific situation, and explained that if council decided to take action, that we would do a text amendment to our current ordinances in order to kind of shore up some of the discrepancies that might be there, or make any necessary changes. He did ask that PDS be involved with those text amendments, because obviously they're the experts in writing the ordinances and such. So what I was going to offer was, if council was inclined, I'm happy to take the lead on that and kind of work with PDS and bring something back to council. If anyone wants to work on it with me, well, I'd welcome that. But anyway, that was the action that I took since the last meeting, and what I can share.
Can I ask for a clarification here? You had a 700 square foot garage, and because the current ordinance reads 600 square feet, you have to reduce the size of your garage. You're not grandfathered for a garage that must be older than
He's
whatever.
he's grandfathered for the existing garage, but the problem with grandfathered, you have to comply with the current zoning. And along the way, how old's the garage? I'm sure 50, 60 years old.
I think it's 100 years old.
100 years, so that's where the problem lies. So, and the city is the only one that can champion and ask for a text amendment. Individuals can ask for map amendments, but text amendments have to come to the city.
So what is the purpose of grandfathering if it doesn't allow him to keep the?
Well, it allows him to keep what he's got,
What he's got,
but he can't
but
change it.
He can't renew it?
Yeah.
I think we can do
Goofy, I know.
repairs, but they consider this more than a repair, the PDS. Even though it's the same size.
I hate making exceptions, but this seems like, seems like I would be able to go back to the original 700.
I know, so it seems
It
crazy.
this doesn't make any logical sense.
So we're,
I would suggest that while we look at this, we also look at the the limitations on the sizes of garages that don't allow for the current model cars to fit in them?
Well, and that's where we get into some of the specific nuances of the specific case versus what's written, because today our ordinance does allow for that. So if you think about, and that's why if you have a single-car garage that was built in 1928 for a Model T, and now you can't open your car doors in that garage, I think our ordinance does currently allow to expand that garage by 150% up to the 600 square feet. So I think we do have that question covered, but certainly, worth factoring that into the conversation as well.
Well, I would agree that it needs to be taken a look at, and I'd be happy to work with you on it unless somebody else feels like they're more qualified to do so.
So you're,
Thanks.
That's great,
Okay.
thank you.
Just putting it out there.
Thank you, gentlemen, and
Yes.
if,
so I'm all in favor of Brian following through and trying to help this gentleman.
I am too.
Okay?
What is,
That's what I wanted to gauge tonight, if there was interest from council to even take it any further. So.
are you under certain are you under certain time constraints in the middle of a construction project?
No, we haven't started. Probably be great to start in the spring if possible, but nothing's.
Okay.
thank you. We will see about keeping this on the agenda for the January meeting. Thank you. Is there any other old business? Yeah, we will. Like to skip, right now, the council comments. We do not need to have an executive session. However, we have a resolution that was prepared regarding Councilwoman Schabel. Since she has resigned, I have accepted that resignation. We do need to fill that vacancy. Council will do it so. In the past, what we have done, we have opened up the nomination process, or somebody can self-nominate. However, we have 30 days to appoint someone to council. And if we don't, then the governor gets to appoint. So I do not have a role in this as the mayor. It is up to the 5 members of council. I think in transparency, it might be best after a couple of discussions that we do open it up for a limited amount of time and then schedule a special meeting to interview the candidates. If we have too many candidates, we may need a committee to kind of go through and winnow out some. But I'm going to stop here because it's up to the 5 of you on how you would like to proceed with this.
Have we discussed we haven't discussed how we're gonna advertise, promote, inform the general public of this vacancy and the application process? That's what we need to do.
We haven't. On behalf of the administration, I will offer to put it on the website and on our social media. And again, I'm looking for direction from council on what we can do to assist the process.
We have 30 days to appoint, is that what
Yes,
you
from
said?
today.
Today, right.
From today. So, yeah, we need to have it advertised, and then we need a deadline so that then we can evaluate.
I think in my experience in recent memory, I think we did put it on the website. I think we put it on the message board out here,
Also,
just
yeah.
open position. Maybe it says open council position, see website even, as simple as that. Given that we've got some holidays in here, I don't, and we have the 30-day limit, and then we are kind of losing some time with holidays. I don't know if we want to keep that open for, if we can get it posted as quickly as tomorrow and we keep it open for a week. I don't know what seems appropriate for what we did in previous times.
I know.
But in general, I would say I am in favor of opening it up to applications versus council just picking someone and asking them to take the position. I would like to see, have it at least open for applications.
Just a letter of application.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
And it
that's-
has to be a special meeting because your next scheduled meeting is on the 12th of January,
Okay.
outside of the 30 days.
Okay. So that means that we would need to get this done the first week, by the first week of January
At the latest.
at the latest. And that's gonna be hard to do it before.
Unless, depending on travel plans for
Right.
council members, or in between Christmas and New Year would be a possibility too.
That's probably,
It depends on how many people we have and how long it might take, or,
we need to
might
do
not.
it before
Yeah,
January.
for transparency, I
Yes.
travel January 6th through the end of the month.
May I propose we post it out somewhere, post it out tomorrow and leave it, does having it open for a week sound reasonable? 10 days? I'm just conscious of the time constraints here.
Let's
I think
see.
week is fine.
Or
Does anyone
like
remember
10
what
day-
we did the last time?
What about 10 days? Because that'll make the mid next week, like it'll be from now until next Wednesday maybe? Is that about
fine.
right?
Mhm.
And that next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday is what?
17th.
The
17th.
17th. Yeah, then we need to we propose to do something between is everybody here between Christmas and New Year's?
I am.
Can we have a special meeting during that week?
Yep.
Do we have a day
Okay.
that's better, or do we try to set a day?
Well, it depends on how many people respond
That's
as to
true.
whether we can do it in one meeting or not.
well, and that brings up the other point, if you wanted to interview everybody, or if you wanted to have a subcommittee to
Right.
winnow out applications, if there are, say, more than 4 or 5. Again, this is a decision for y'all to make.
Can I throw these dates out? We close it by December 17th, and then I don't think we're gonna get all these people. They're gonna be all over after the 24th through the 2nd. Can we try to interview them the 22nd or 23rd?
I'm available.
I've got a conflict on the 23rd. I could do that one on the 22nd.
Okay.
You have to be present?
I don't have to be present.
Those dates work for me.
I could do either of those dates, the 22nd or the 23rd.
Close it by the 17th, and then
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Go ahead and just move on it. And then we'll be running these snafus then.
you can put that on the board starting tomorrow,
Yes.
Teresa?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Would we require a written letter from any candidate that is interested?
I'm wondering,
That's gonna take more time.
can we look at how we posted it the last time?
Sure.
I should remember,
I
because
think
that's
we
how I
asked-
started on council.
I think we asked for folks to
you
express.
were involved. You
I
got
know.
appointed that way.
Yeah.
It was in
My
the old
memory's
building.
not that
I
far.
think we always
I think
have
we
had
asked
a
for a
written
letter of-
application.
There was always, it was a written application because I applied for the open seat the one time.
Right.
There was an open seat and it was a written application. And I wound up not doing it because I was shy a month living back in the city.
Yeah, you gotta make
Yeah,
sure
I remember
everybody
writing
knows
a
they
letter.
gotta have been here a year.
Yeah, you have to live in the city a year.
Regular letter or email or
Yeah.
Just something about like why you wanted to be on
some
council.
written communication.
About yourself and why you
Yeah.
why would you be interested in like being on council?
I will let you know, I reached out to a couple people already, so I mean,
And what'd they say?
So,
one is moving out of the city in March, and both of them are, actually.
Oh.
Both of them,
Those are not good appointments.
no.
Short term. We don't want to have to do,
Don't want to do,
we
turn
don't
around
want
and
to do it again in a couple months.
Two of them, they were both perfect candidates, they're involved with the city, and
I've already had one candidate's, I believe you may have already received his letter. Potential.
I haven't received anything yet, but
I'll rattle his gauge.
All right.
okay, so we will advertise it the best of our ability, and any communications will be due by the 17th, and then we will tentatively plan a special meeting on the 22nd.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Last item, comments from council, unless there was something else.
No,
Mr.
no,
Nelson?
no. You needed to ask.
Mr. Mayor, I just had a few comments I'd like to make if you want.
Surely.
Fortunately, Mr. Murray took away most of my thoughts. And we settled the other part of my thoughts with the Blessed Sacrament. Truthfully, over the weekend, I got approached twice. The grandmother I already told you about. That's been reconciled with, because of misinformation that came across the dark web, I'll call it. My other approach was from a neighbor, and it was kind of comical, and everybody will get a kick out of this. He asked me if we have any new construction going on up here in the building, and I said, why do you ask? He says, well, where do you hold those clandestine, under the table meetings that no one's aware of? And I assured him there are none. And I finally assured him that the council that we have this year, today, is the most flexible, open-minded group I've ever worked with in any situation. And my compliments to everybody that's devoted their time and efforts to the city. And last of all, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to all the citizens of Lakeside Park. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mrs. Murray for taking her time and going through the effort to come up here and tell us,
You
to
guys,
encourage us to keep doing what
Yes.
we're doing,
Thank
you
you.
guys are great.
and to address the misinformation that was out there. Thank you very much.
You know, people don't tell you enough. You don't get paid near enough for the headaches that we all cause you. We appreciate you.
In 13 years on council, that's the first time it's happened. I've seen it happen, so thank you. Yep.
Thank you. No.
Someone should
Yes.
acknowledge me for not reading all my notes that I made. to read.
Well,
Could be your-
let the record reflect, the chair recognizes you and thanks you
Thank
for
you.
your forbearance. Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays to all. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I'll entertain one last motion.
Motion to adjourn, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Landwehr. Is there a second?
Second.
And as we say in the police authority meetings, please vote with your feet. Although we should say yes or no. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
Steve.
I guess so.
Yes, I do.